Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Richard Schley here, your coach for the real success. Now I'm bringing you a little story. If you put a chain around the leg of an elephant, which when it is still young, initially it will try to escape. However, unable to do so, it will eventually give up and stop resisting. As it grows bigger and stronger, it could easily break free, but it never will. Instead, it will remain under the control of the trainer for the rest of its life. Why? Why? Because it has been conditioned to believe it can't escape. The little elephant has been conditioned to believe it cannot escape, although it could. What if the only thing preventing you from living the life you want is the illusion that you cannot? I say it again. What if the only thing preventing you from living the life you want to live is the illusion that you cannot live the life you want to live? What if the reasons you are not where you want to be is the result of similar conditioning to that of the little elephant? And what if this conditioning is a result of the many assumptions you hold in various areas of your life? Assumption. Do you know what is an assumption? Assumption is a word that is used very often, although nobody cares about what it really means. Assumption is pretending that something is true although it does not exist. There's a certain guy, I'll not name his name, but he doesn't live any longer. But he has, in the last years of his life, put out a teaching which he called the teaching of the law of assumption. In my opinion, it is the greatest lie ever. Jesus put out the law of belief or the law of faith, but not of assumption. To believe a certain thing is a totally different thing than to assume it. To just make a make-believe of something is really lying to yourself. That is the worst thing you can ever do. You're holding many assumptions in so many areas of your life. Do you know them? Well, now imagine if you could transform your life simply by changing these assumptions. Could you be a few new assumptions away? Could you put a few stupid assumptions away from success and happiness? The truth is, operating far below your maximum capabilities because of these assumptions in which you actually do believe. In fact, we are all, in a way, had certain assumptions in our life, unconsciously. Your current assumptions lead you to think, feel, and act in a way that is incongruent with the results you want to obtain and the person you want to become. I believe it is possible for you to experience more happiness, much more success and fulfillment than you can ever imagine. And how? By reframing your life, by questioning the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. and by replacing your current limiting assumptions with more empowering ones. Replacing something is the most important thing in life. This course which I am giving unto you will help you to reframe your life and to unlock the whole of your potential. With this course, to get into a sure and fulfillment of success and self-confidence, I want you to expand your horizons and fully realize the field of possibilities ahead of you. Throughout this course, we will work on loosening and reforming your assumptions, and we will remove unsupportive assumptions. On many occasions, I will challenge the beliefs you hold in various areas of your life. You may not agree with everything I say. Occasionally, you may even become defensive or angry, and that's fine. That's very fine if you don't immediately agree, because the knowledge which I acquired through more than 59 years of life is different from the knowledge you are having at this very moment. What matters most is that you start questioning all your limiting assumptions and beliefs. As you carry on, you will have to practice. And without practice, nothing works until you do. And only you can do the work. And this is your life. It is your work. Improve it, and you will win. In Webster Dictionary, we read what is an assumption. An assumption is the act of laying claim to or taking possession of something. The assumption can also be arrogance or pretension. And assuming that something is true, although it is not real or tangible. That is where we are. We have to accept that we are first of all living in a tangible world. Hardly anyone is aware where he is living. Are you aware where your feelings are coming from? Are you aware where your thoughts are coming from? Are you aware where your funny feelings are coming from? Or where a bad consciousness is coming from? Are you aware where fearing, the feeling of fear is coming from? Fear. What are you afraid of? When I finished speaking, and I am in this very course, I'm trying not to overdo it. I will not speak longer than 15 to 20 minutes, because it's too much for you to grasp. A very, very important point really is, are you aware of the fear that is within you? Almost every person in this world is having a certain kind or a certain amount of fear. Hardly any person you ever meet can say, I'm free of fear. Do one thing which will definitely help you. As I said in one of my other messages already, take a sheet of paper, letter size, and a pencil. a good pencil or a good ball pen and write it down. Begin with the topic and the heading, what do I fear? This is the most important thing. Write it down what you are fearing, what you are afraid of. Are you afraid of losing money? Are you afraid of getting sick, catching a cold, getting the flu, or getting even cancer? Write it all down, what you are afraid of. Are you afraid of a car accident? Are you afraid that your car, if you are having one, will break down? Are you afraid you cannot pay the credit you are having at the bank? Are you afraid of losing money? Are you afraid of losing your hair? Or your eyesight? Or your hearing? Are you afraid that your limbs are getting paralyzed or stiff? There are so many things you can be afraid of, and I'm sure you are afraid of. Most people are afraid of getting sick. They are afraid of somehow or other suddenly a cancer disease might come over them. But the point is, there is the world of the tangible. Just today, I wrote a letter to some of my German-speaking friends in which I explained the word tangible and intangible. We are going over certain things so lightly, so easily, and we want to be more self-confident. But as long as you have any kind of fear, no matter what it is called, and you have not revealed it, and after having revealed it, you must release it. And if you have not released it, it will be following you to the end of your life. But there are so many ways that you can become totally free. I am free from fear because of one thing. I know the value and the power of integrity. You must have something to cling to. You must know that one thing which I have come to know, that one thing will never let me down. You might say you believe in God. It sounds good, but in reality, it doesn't mean very much. Many people who say they believe in God, or even confess that they believe in Jesus, there are people who are very, very much afraid of this and that. I have been a preacher for over 10 years. I've experienced what's going on in the world. I've spoken personally to more than 20,000 people, and they all had the same problem, fear. Everyone said, when we had a personal conversation, I coached people till they were very successful. With some people it took years, and with other people it only took a few months. But they had one thing in common. They all had in the neck, in the back of their life, in the back of their body, in the back of their feeling, a gripping fear. I've known people who were millionaires, and because of fear, they made wrong decisions and lost all the money. You can be a billionaire and still, I know people who had several billions, yes, billions. 100,000 millions make a billion. And they had several billions. I know these people. I'm coaching people of all kinds, of rich and low, of poor and super rich. They all come to me. They all have the same problem. They have fear. Fear is gripping them, consciously or unconsciously. And I know a person that had several billions and is now getting money from the social support of the country. It's incredible. Yes, it is a fact. But if you never get rid of the fear that is behind you creeping, and you can only get rid of it by first writing it down. It's no good getting a course in self-development and in self-confidence and whatever about whenever the word self is in front of it. It's nice to have self-confidence, but as long as you have 1% of fear in your being, the self-confidence which you got through some course or seminar or books or whatever, it will swipe away, it will flee away like a bird, and it is gone. And you don't know what happened to you. It just is gone because you were not aware of the fear. Ever so many are preaching, you have to visualize what kind of big guy you are. All right, I don't say anything against visualizing it. But as long as you have not got rid of your fear, whatever you do and try to do, it is deemed. It will be destroyed, and it will destroy all your efforts. No matter how hard you try, the fear is lurking behind in such a subtle way you can't even imagine it. Whatever accidents are happening in the world, no matter whether little or big, whatever crashes down, behind everything there is fear. There's a fear behind every sports. There's a fear behind every kind of professional sporting. There's a fear behind to make a mistake, to lose, to fail. Failure is the worst word. Nobody wants to hear such a word. But failure somehow is in the air as long as you're not having a real foundation, as I mentioned just beforehand. You have to have, first of all, an inner foundation, an intangible foundation, which can only be built by words of integrity. Your personal word, how great is the value of your personal word? Have you ever been lying? Are you continually lying to people? Are you avoiding the truth? Are you always having an excuse? Every excuse we are having is a lie. A little lie, but it is a lie. I know wonderful people, but in a way, whenever they smile, there's a lie behind it. I don't like this kind of grinning. What is behind it? It's like a camouflage. There's something behind it. They have to hide something. I don't need to hide anything if I have never lied to anyone, if I have never cheated anyone, if I have never stolen anything from anyone. Find all these negative things first out and eradicate them out of your life and build up integrity. It is the only way that keeps you going. It is the only way that holds you up. And it is the only thing and the only way and the only substance and the only truth that never lets you down. That is the most important thing in your life. Find a way never to be let down. That is the number one. We're having so many positive things, but behind most of the positive things, there's a little fear lurking. And behind the fear, there's a little lie. And we don't have to have a little fear or a big fear. We don't have to have any lie in our life. And if you're willing to eradicate all these things which I mentioned, it doesn't sound very positive at the moment, but I know how to get out of all trouble. I'm more than 59 years on this way of success. In those 59 years, more than 59 years, I've never had a serious failure. I've met people who tried to cheat me, but I found out very soon. One can feel it, what's behind it. Become a person whose inner being, whose intangible being, is the real reality, because there's one thing which you are not aware. You shall not mistake your personal reality for the real reality. And the guy said the following words: a human being always acts and feels and performs in accordance with that what he imagines to be true about himself and his environment. The point is, your personal reality is not the real reality. Begin to recognize that, and things will turn around. Wake up. I tell you, wake up. Don't become religious or anything like that. Become a man or a woman of integrity. And then life transforms and changes in a positive way you never dreamt about it. Good night. Oh.